Plan to enter the U.S. illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up. If you're a criminal, you'll be deported. What I'm describing is accountability, a common sense middle ground approach.
They've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked, they're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes. And you have to try to learn English, and you have to wait in line.
If you plan to enter the U.S. illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up. If you're a criminal, you'll be deported. What I'm describing is accountability, a common sense.
Here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes. We should say, here, they're gone. If they deport them. No questions asked, they're gone. If they've been working and our law
was not a departure from George Bush. He was a continuation of George Bush. He took us from 2 wars to 7 wars. He kicked 5.1 million families out of their homes while he made sure the bankers didn't miss their bonuses. He deported twice as many Hispanics as Donald Trump. He built those cages that put those people in. He dropped 26,000 bombs. The Air Force ran out of bombs. That's a fact. They ran out of bombs. He dropped so many bombs. He did a drone program that killed 90% innocent people. You know, if somebody walks into a mall and shoots 15 people down with this gun, that's the biggest thing. Oh my God. Barack Obama was doing that on a daily basis, killing women and children with his drone war. And he got a Nobel Peace Prize. He got a Nobel Peace Prize. He didn't even do anything.
If you plan to enter,
Bush administration has done nothing to control the problem that we had. We've had 5 million undocumented workers come over the borders since George Bush took office. It has become an extraordinary problem. And the reason the American people are concerned is because they are seeing their own economic position slip away. And oftentimes, employers are exploiting these undocumented workers. They're not paying the minimum wage. They're not observing worker safety laws. And so what we have to do is create a comprehensive solution to the problem. Now, I have already stated that as president, I will make sure that we finally have the kind of border security that we need. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is to take on employers. Right now, the employer has more of a chance of getting hit by lightning than be prosecuted for hiring an undocumented worker. That has to change. They have to be held accountable. And when we do those things, I believe that we can take the undocumented workers, the illegal aliens who are here, get them out of the shadows, make sure that they are subject to a stiff penalty, make sure that they're learning English, make sure that they go to the back of the line so they're not getting an advantage over people who came here legally. And when we do that, I think that we can, instead of shedding all this heat, start shedding some light on the problem, and we can once again be a nation of laws and a nation of immigrants administration.
Even as we are a nation of immigrants, we're also a nation of laws. Undocumented workers broke our immigration laws, and I believe that they must be held accountable, especially those who may be dangerous. If you're a criminal, you'll be deported. If you plan to enter the U.S. illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up. The actions I'm taking are not only lawful, they're the kinds of actions taken by every single Republican president and every single Democratic president for the past half century. Even as we are a nation of immigrants, we're also a nation of...
Everyone knows that getting rid of the deficit will require some tough decisions. And that includes cutting back on billions of dollars in programs that a lot of people care about. But what should be easy is getting rid of the pointless waste and stupid spending that doesn't benefit anybody. We're calling it the campaign to cut waste.
You know, there's been a tremendous amount of waste and fraud in the government during the Biden administration, which estimated the federal government fraud to be $500 billion. What we're trying to do is get that number down to a much smaller figure, save money for the American taxpayer, stop money being spent on things that I think very few taxpayers would agree make sense. You know, transgender animal surgeries. Or why are the 20 million people who are definitely dead marked as alive in the Social Security database, which estimated the federal government fraud to be $500 billion. What we're trying to do is get that number.
Bush, if anything.
He was worse.
Savior, almost, of the United States. And he was just as bad as Bush, if anything.
He was worse.
Yeah.
He was much worse. He expanded the drone wars epically. He was a constitutional lawyer who sort of presided over the destruction of habeas corpus. That's the right to be actually charged with something. So you can't be indefinitely detained at the pleasure of the state, because what's going to happen if you have no habeas corpus is whoever's an annoying pain in the ass to the states is going to be whisked away to some, lock up somewhere and never let out again. And that's a massive, massive, betrayal of a fundamental, sort of like pillar of the judicial system and of our democracy. So, Obama, very eloquent. He's a beautiful, beautiful face for the empire. But when you go look through his presidential record, especially what he delivered relative to what he promised, it was
fascism with a black face and good speaking skills.
This like Barack Obama painted as this I don't know, this angel of the political world. He's painted as this savior almost of the United States, and he was just as bad as Bush, if anything.
He was worse.
Yeah. He was. I look through his presidential record, especially what he delivered relative to what he promised.
Fascism with a black face and good speaking skills.
Tafari was eliminated because he was writing a tell-all book on Obama. See, just weeks after Tafari drowned, Obama's old letters from the 80s resurfaced on the internet, in which he admitted to fantasizing about sleeping with men on a daily basis. The letter resurfaced after Obama biographer David Garrow talked to Tablet magazine about his biography of Obama, Rising Star, The Making of Barack Obama. Garrow revealed that he interviewed over 1,000 people while doing research for his book, including Obama's ex-girlfriends, Sheila Mayoshi Jagger and Alex McNear, and they both showed him some of the private letters they received from Obama. Garrow revealed that one of the letters he obtained from Alex had a paragraph that was retracted, and when Garrow asked Alex why she didn't want to show that part, she said it's about homosexuality. But in the meantime, Garrow discovered that copies of the letters could be found at the Emory University archives. Emory didn't let Garrow take pictures of the letters, so Garrow sent a friend to transcribe by hand the parts, including the paragraph about homosexuality mentioned by Alex McNear.
When it comes to the international system of commerce and trade, it's legitimate for poorer countries to continue to seek access to wealthier markets. And by the way, wealthier markets, that's not the big problem that you're having. A small African country is sending you tea and flowers. Economic challenge. It's also proper for advanced economies like the United States to insist on reciprocity from nations like China that are no longer solely poor countries, to make sure that they're providing access to their markets and that they stop taking intellectual property and hacking our servers. When it comes to the international system of commerce and trade, it's legitimate for poorer countries to continue to seek access to wealthier markets. And by the way, wealthier markets, that's not the big problem that you're having.
An open thing. Barack Obama gets on TV and he says, I have a message for black people, right? You have pretty much no choice but to choose this woman over here because she comes from where you come from. She looks like you. Even though this woman hasn't presented us with any policies, haven't instilled in us any confidence to make us say, okay, yeah, that's who I want to vote for. That's the lady that got my vote. I'm behind her. Y'all want to turn it into this black man versus black woman thing, and that's not even the case. Trust me, if there was a viable black woman up there that was running for freaking office, we would rally behind her in a heartbeat, right? But Kamala is not that, and her track record doesn't show that she gives any two shits about black people or the plight of the economy or anybody in general. Think about it. In this economy, I'm staying out on the fucking streets, am I not? I'm living on the streets. So what he's telling me to do is to ignore my situation, ignore my interest to vote for this woman who's been in office for the last 4 years, right? With this old geriatric motherfucker that she helped prop up with a stick, right? And let this economy go into disarray. Let it go into disarray. This man gets up here and tells me that I don't know any better. You don't know, you guys need to be on board with this. No, I don't need to be on board with the Democratic Party because even when you were in there, you didn't do a motherfucking thing for us. Obama. Yeah, this is a direct freaking video to Obama on my birthday. Fuck you. Don't ever come out trying to shame us for who we voting for while you sitting freaking pretty and letting this economy crash the way it's crashing. Somebody in my comments said, well, the reason that the economy was so good during during Trump's administration was because of what Obama did. And that's why you sat so pretty during that. No, shut the fuck up. Shut up. That don't even make sense. Then if that's the case, then why haven't the economy been good for the last 4 years? So it's like, okay, so now that these people have been in office for the last 4 years, if they were so amazing then, why are we still going on this downward spiral? Why is the economy going into a toilet? Why would it's like an open thing. Barack Obama gets on TV and he says, I have a message for black people, right? You have pretty much no choice but to choose this woman over here because she comes from where you come from. She looks like you. Even though this woman